Despite all the free benefits you hear in the news about socialism, it actually comes at a high cost. Take Venezuela, for example. 7 years ago, Venezuela was a beautiful country. In fact, it was the third richest worldwide. I live in a capitalist country, in contrast, and I vote and research political topics almost daily. When the Venezuelan government imposed socialism on its citizens, they removed their constitutional rights as citizens. Could the US be next? Do not let socialism take over. I will review key points on why socialism is devastating and what we could potentially be facing. Say goodbye to your hour-long steamy showers because there's a severe lack of hygiene due to poverty-stricken conditions that Venezuela has been left in due to socialism. They only get every 21 days they get a supply of water, which leaves citizens with running water about 1 to 2 times a week. There also is a daily 4-hour power outage that is imposed on the Venezuelan citizens, which also there's been reports of this exceeding almost 14 hours at times. A Fox News reporter also stated that it cost him about 86% of his monthly income to obtain 8 rolls of toilet paper, which took him over a week to find due to the unavailability. Pray that you don't get sick because there's a severe lack of healthcare and medications that have been the effect of socialism. There's an estimated shortage of 85% nationwide, and curable diseases are now life-threatening. Treatment for chronic diseases are just unavailable. Are you into extreme weight loss? Well, then socialism could be for you because socialism has created mass starvation and extreme weight loss. The government, through socialism, has imposed limited quantities for food purchases, which means you can only buy a certain amount of food that they say you can buy, such as 1 chicken, 2 cans of beans, maybe 1 bag of rice, such as Cuba, how they do Cuban rations. There's also 8+ hour waits in line at the grocery store to even see if the products are available. Due to Venezuelans' closed borders, it has devalued their national currency, pretty much rendering them broke. Do you value your peace and tranquility? Well, then maybe socialism isn't quite for you because it has sparked violent protests throughout that country. It has been reported by Fox News that there are 5 to 6 weekly protests, accounting for 111 recorded violent protests within 3 months. They also report that 5,000 people a day are escaping Venezuela and socialism. If we go back to 2015 to up to date, this accounts for 2.6 million people that have escaped socialism. Be part of the solution now. However, the devastation of socialism can be stopped, and everyone who exercises the right to vote can be part of the solution, defending capitalism. Vote for candidates who defend capitalism. Register to vote is the first critical step in this process. You can register online, you can go down to your local supervisor of elections office, or you can mail in the DSDE 39 form, which is basically just an application, a voter application for registration. Those were passed out in the beginning of this seminar. Research what platforms candidates are advocating. Explore candidates' profiles and platforms. Review their key points on major political issues. Research the institutions that are backing them and advocating for them. What are their intentions behind this candidate and pushing them to the top? And cast your vote at the ballot box. Bring proper identification, whether it be your state ID or a voter's ID. And while you're there, if you're having issues, request assistance. That is what they're there for. And finally, make it to the poll by the deadline. We must defend capitalism in the United States. But healthcare should be free for all, right? Well, in fact, this could actually be counterproductive because consolidating healthcare leaves you no choice of a plan. So if there's a necessary procedure or medication that your plan doesn't cover, then you're just out of luck. Equal pay for unequal work. Hope you're not a hard worker, because watch out if you're a hard worker, because earnings will be distributed regardless. So you could do all the work while the other employee doesn't do much, and we're just going to evenly distribute it. Like I like to tell my kids, It's kind of like you earn A's in school. Would you think it's fair if we took your A and distributed it to all the lower scoring students, so we bring you down and bring them up so that everybody's on an equal platform? Yeah, it doesn't sound very fair. Free college sounds great too, right? Well, free is not free. I mean, this will take raising our taxes to actually pay for these type of things, even though they're not personally coming out of our individual pockets. Essentially, they really are. The tax increases are imminent to support free education for all. So free college doesn't sound so great in the end. Voting is the only solution to preserving our Constitution that declares our individual rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Consequently, here are some important points to keep in mind about capitalism the next time you exercise your right to vote. Capitalism equals owner control, which means the private owner of that company controls the means of production as well as the prices so they can accrue profits. That private ownership, you basically make your own decisions. When you're under socialism, you become nationalized. And a nationalized business means the government dictates your profit as well as your prices, leaving you at their mercy. Capitalism has incentives. It pretty much maximizes profit through competition, using competitive pricing in the marketplace. Also, competition is the driving factor in innovation. Competition drives people to be creative, to come up with new strategies and new technologies or products or services to beat out the other competitor or a better price for these services or products. This competition develops many new things. Now that you can visualize capitalism and the devastating effects of socialism, it is time to go vote and maintain the great policies that keep America thriving and free. The 2020 presidential election vote is essential. There's a high percentage of young college students that do favor socialism due to the free benefits. The 2020 election could really be a turning point in capitalism in this country. So it is very important that everybody get out and exercise their vote. If you don't want to live the socialist dream, rush out to the ballot boxes. Stop the threat of socialism now. Democrats, the so-called self-appointed democratic socialists, distract you with their bribery of free healthcare and free college. Don't fall for these facades. Learn the difference between capitalism and socialism. And finally, register and vote. It's very important. So, in review, understand that socialism leads to negative consequences, such as mass starvation, lack of medication, poor hygiene. Voting is the only solution to stopping socialism. Register to vote online, by mail, or in person. Get started today by registering to vote. The voter registration application was handed out in the beginning. There's a website I've provided for you to register and vote online. And also, there's an absentee ballot handout to request an absentee ballot. Absentee ballots are different than mail-in voting. Absentee ballots require the citizen or the voter to be verified, where mail-in voting is just sent out to all registered voters. I also provided phone numbers and location information along with your voter registration application at some local offices in Florida that you can go and vote. It's time to go vote and make a difference. Registering to vote, researching candidates, reviewing key points on current major issues, and then finally, go cast your vote. These were some of the example handouts that were sent to you. This is the voter registration application, also with a list of the offices. And this is an example of the absentee ballot that you guys were handed out, and it also comes with the address to mail it to. Thank you, and get out and vote today.